So here's my lumber. I'm going to load it into the project 4. I should probably save project 4. So I'll do that. Save. Call it washroom and ticket. And I can place this piece of lumber. You see right now it's a 2x4. You just get used to noticing the dimensions of it, the proportions of it. So I see it's a 2x4, and I want it to be a 2x6. So I can place this this lumber, and I'll place it right here, and actually want to rotate it. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to rotate it around that axis, and like that. And I want to move it. Actually, I think I can align it. To right there, and I can align it to the bottom just to make sure that's aligned. Seems to be. And I don't like this display. I'm going to change the display a little bit, change it to 1 inch so it's a little finer lines, and change it to medium detail. That doesn't really matter with this exercise, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now I can look at this in the south view and see what I've got. And I've got a stud. It's not the right length. I can click on it and pull it up taller like this, and pull the bottom up like this, and then it looks pretty good. It's not exactly right, but we'll get to that. Now I want to put another one in, and it won't let me. And that's because I built the model slightly wrong. And so the model of the lumber is slightly wrong. So I'm going to go back to my lumber here. And there are a couple of little settings I have to make on it to make it work the way I want it to. And if I go to this little icon, it's the family category and parameters, and I want to make it work plane based, and I do not want it to always be vertical because I want to use this for studs and plates and rafters and all sorts of things. So it's not always going to be vertically oriented, but having it always vertical can be a very powerful, useful kind of tool. Trees are always vertical, for instance. So I've made those changes, and I have to load it back into my project. So washroom and ticket booth, and we load it back in, and it shouldn't change. This one shouldn't change, should be okay. But I'm going to so I've loaded it back in, and now I'm going to go to that south view and see if I can place one now. Yes, and it's laying down flat, which I like that. And I'm going to place it right here. And it's overlapping the other one. So I actually want, I can't have two materials in the same place, same time. So I have to move that up. And so now I've got my plate here, and I can look at the plate in plan view, and it's not the right length and all, but easy enough to stretch it over here. Stretch it over here. And I'm going to stretch this part to here. And you'll see why. I'll pick that, and I want to copy it from here to here. And I can ignore that and pick this second one I have, and I want to rotate it. So I'll pick move my rotation point over here. Tell it how I want to rotate it, and it won't let me rotate it that way. That's okay. Actually, since it won't let me rotate it, I'll just move it over here and use it as the plate on this end. And get it set like that. The reason it won't let me rotate it is because it was drawn on this plane here. If we look at that in 3D, we can see that plane, and it won't let me rotate it'll let me rotate around like this, but it won't let me rotate around like that. So, but I can overcome that kind of issue by drawing that so I set my drawing plane like that, and this model is set up to always draw perpendicular to the placement plane. So the length goes away perpendicular to the placement plane. So I can place this. So now in this view, I can place it right where I want it, I think. So then I can go to level 1 and look at it. It's not quite the way I want it. I can stretch it over here. Now you see I'm kind of pinwheeling these plates around. That one's not quite right. So I'll move that in a moment. So I can select it and move that in so they don't overlap. And I can select that one and copy it from that endpoint to that, and it works okay. So and then look at it in 3D and see how this works. So I've got my plates going all the way around. It looks really good, and I've got a pretty good model going. I'm going to save it.